Hey there, everyone. This is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. And today is another Biz Tip Tuesday. How is everybody doing? Let me add. All right. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach for the Small Biz Society and for the Jumpstart Your Dream Biz First Facebook communities. So it's great to have you all on board. Tonight is a special event. So get your journals ready. And again, this is our traditional Biz Tip Tuesdays where I come to you with resources, tips, tools that are going to help you make your business more productive and profitable. And so for those of you who haven't already done so, please visit my website at keepitsimplecoach.info. There you will find my blogs, resources, events, and other amenities that will help you to either launch or grow your business. And for those of you who are new and have not already joined one of my Facebook groups, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, I want to invite you over to the Jumpstart Your Dream Biz Facebook group community. There is for our aspiring entrepreneurs who might be sitting on a fear fence, practicing procrastination, and need to pack it up and let's make it happen. So there in this particular group, you get motivated, inspired, and we jump you into a masterclass so that you can plan, launch, and open up for business the dream idea that you have. For those of you who are new to starting your new business, a solopreneur, freelancer, team, or like, please join us over at the Small Biz Society where our do-it-yourself entrepreneurs get it done. I provide coaching and support. Again, resources and tools. We really focus on content marketing strategies as well. So if that's something that you are seeing of interest, please join us over at the smallbizsociety.info. This is the website that you can join us in as well. So listen, today we are really going to be getting an opportunity to dig in on a topic that I'm sure you probably all have been scratching your heads about, but haven't really said, I don't know if that's for me because it sounds complicated. And so I don't want that to be an issue for you guys anymore. So today our topic is on what are the benefits of using Google Analytics for your business. And I know you might think, oh, Google Analytics is for those, gurus and those geeks out there. But no, actually, I have come to find out it is more for us newbies, us entrepreneurs who are out there who want to make sure that we're doing the right things and how we can use this data to help us to do that. So with that being said, I am not the girl for you on this topic. I know my limits, but I do know who I can tap in order to do so. So today, I want to introduce you to a colleague of mine. This is Josh Choate. And Josh Choate is the manager and owner of, let me make sure I take that off, of Course Vector. They are, and there's a website for you all to see. We're going to bring him onto the screen in a moment. But Josh is well known in other communities. We're in a mastermind together as well. So we're always tapping each other. And so without further ado, Josh is going to walk us through those 5 benefits so that we can, make our lives a little more easier and we can start calling ourselves gurus as well. So let's bring Josh on. Give me 1 second. And hey, Josh.
Hello, Dr. Yam. How are you?
I am great. I'm so happy to have you to join us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So without further ado, Josh, please tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about Course Vector before we get into our topic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Josh Choate. I'm with Course Vector. We're a small web development, kind of web agency actually out of central Pennsylvania. We're a family-owned business, which is great. But we do everything web. So everything from web hosting to web development to digital marketing. We kind of graphic design, we cover it all. If you need anything for a website, come to us. Like that's kind of we're a one-stop shop if you want to call it that. So that's a little bit about our business. So and as far as Google Analytics go, how we're kind of linked with that, obviously we do a lot of web development. a lot of digital marketing, and Google Analytics is a very powerful tool to do that.
Okay.
So, and it's an industry standard. There's other analytics tools out there, but Google Analytics is what a lot of them use even as a dashboard for storing that data. So
Okay.
It's great to know Google Analytics, and that's why we're having this conversation.
Exactly, because
Yep.
I get enough. I get enough and learn enough to be really dangerous, but I know my limits, and so I tap people who know it a bit better than I do. So let's do that. Adjust your camera just a bit because I'm getting you cut off on the top of your
Okay.
screen.
Not a problem.
There you go.
There we go. And I'll back
Thank
up
you.
there.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. All right. So let's get on this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll share a screen. And I'm going to, there we go. So Josh, why don't you take us through, we're going to go through we consider to be like, what are those 5 key things we really need to know about Google Analytics as a small business owner? And then you're going to give us a nice little giveaway at the end. And also guys, there's also a link inside of the group for you to tap into the Google Analytics Academy. So that's another good resource for you to tap into. So let's get started.
So yeah, real quick, I just want to recap what we're going to go over. Those 5 points that we'd like to make. The very first one being how to set up your Google Analytics. The second point that we're going to make is the different sections of Google Analytics. Then from there, the custom dashboards that you can set up so you can see the data that you want to see easily and quickly versus going through all those different sections of Google Analytics. You can kind of put everything into one place. And then setting up goals, which is a very, very important part of analytics. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to set up, but it's definitely important, especially because you can set monetary amounts toward those goals. So if you meet it, you're collecting, let's say, $45 a lead or whatever is appropriate for your business. And then the last one is tracking successful campaigns, which again, the goals help with that. So we can dive right into it then.
Yeah, let's do it.
So Google Analytics, believe it or not, you can find it. The very quickest, easiest way to find it is just by Googling Google Analytics. It'll be the first link that pops up, and it'll kind of bring you up to this screen here. Now, with analytics, you do need a Google account. You can create one through this screen, or you can use one that you already have. The misconception with Google accounts is that they have to be a @gmail.com address, which is not true. You can actually set up a Google account via if you have a business email, for example. In my case, Joshua Choate jchoate at coursefactor.com. I could set up a Google account using that email address.
Okay.
You don't have to use Gmail, which is, again, a misconception that a lot of people think they need to have. And once that Google account is set up, you then have access to analytics, Google Search Console, Google Ads if you decide to go that route. You can also put your YouTube videos, a YouTube account through that. Google Docs, Google Excel sheets, or Google Sheets, all those tools will be available to you then. So it's a great way to keep kind of business and personal life separate, because I know a lot of personal people have Gmail as their personal email, and you don't want to kind of mix those, especially should you sell your company, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So the instructions are pretty easy. To be honest with you, to set this account up, the hardest part is going to be to embed that Google Analytics code once you get it. That code is going to end up looking like a UA dash, bunch of numbers and characters. And then you use that code to put it onto your website.
Okay, so let's pause right here on that note.
Yep.
So everybody, you got to have a real website. It's not something if you have like just a landing page or an offer page. It needs to be a full-on website, right, Josh?
Not true, actually.
Can you track?
You can actually put that on landing pages. You can put this code. You can even put this code on an iPhone app or an Android app. It's used quite. There's a lot of uses for it, but you have to make sure that you are able to embed this code, or we use WordPress for all the websites that we build. There's tools out there to actually automatically add it. You just need to put in the UA code that Google gives you. I know Weebly, Wix, Shopify, they usually all have a section
Right.
somewhere in the settings that you can attach a Google Analytics code to it. Do that. Those
Can you
tools
have
are
it
set
on
up
more
there
than one?
easily.
Can you do it on more than one?
You can, not recommended at all.
Okay.
So when you do this, you can link it to, I'll pull up this here. What you'll do is you'll have an analytics account, then you'll have properties and apps, and then of course your website data. So if you had, for example, a WordPress website, and then you also had a Weebly website for whatever case may be for the same business, you would want to group those under your analytics account and then under properties. So it would be multiple properties under this, essentially, is what it would look like. And all that's managed. I know I'll back up a couple steps here real quick. So once you run through this setup of analytics, you can basically just follow along. Google has it very, very well documented.
Right.
And if you get stuck, go to YouTube and search how to set up a Google Analytics account, and you will get tons of results. So, but once you do get it set up, you'll be met with this screen, which is your analytics screen. From here, you'll have the admin dashboard, which again, this is all the user accounts that you have, your properties under that account, and then of course the individual sites. So if you had 3 different websites that you were managing, you could actually set up accounts for each of those under one SEO or under one Google account, which is really nice, especially if you have multiple businesses.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to bounce around. You can just put it all under one account.
You might need to zoom in just a little bit, so the screens could be
How's that?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so I've set up my account.
Yep.
It's going through the prompts that they give us, and then once you're in, this is what we can see when we get inside.
Yeah, it'll look just like. Let me go back to the home, because it'll look just like this.
Okay.
Now, again, the most important part is that code, which you'll want to go to your admin here. And this is where the code will live. So it's going to be under your property, and it's tracking info. So you'll click on that, and you can click on tracking code or user ID. Depends on what website you're using. If you're using a landing page that's just HTML, you might need to use this. If you're using a Shopify site, they might ask for the tracking ID. Okay. It really depends on what platform you're on and what the platform is capable of.
Okay.
Sometimes if you're working with a developer, they'll ask you for one or the other, in which case you can just send these to that person. Okay. But this is where you'll find it under tracking info, which is under property.
Okay. And how hard is it for those of us who are, like you're saying, there's a place inside if they're using a Wix account or Weebly or their WordPress, it's not a hard thing to add? No. So with Weebly or Shopify or Squarespace, all those basically box style, builders, do-it-yourself type building, website builders, there's usually a section right in there that'll ask for your tracking ID. Okay. And it's very easy to add. Okay, great. WordPress depends on your theme. Sometimes it's built right into your theme, but there's, with your iPhone, there's an app for that. There's always a plugin for that for WordPress, in which case one of our favorites is actually using Google Sitekit, which is an app or a plugin that's actually built by Google. It'll ask you to log into your Google account once you install this onto your site. Again, This is called Google Sitekit. Okay. And then from here, you can tell it. So it'll ask you to log in, which I've already done all that. But if I go to settings under this,
you can see here that I can connect all these services that Google offers, which analytics is one of them. And if I see the full detail, sorry, go to analytics. Under this edit button, you can click this.
Gotcha.
And you can actually tell it to include the code on your site.
Oh, okay.
It's right here. So let's say place the code right on your site, and it'll do it for you.
Awesome.
So all you have to do is log in and select that option, which it defaults to on, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, so it'll automatically include that once you log in.
Very good. Thanks for that, Josh.
Yep, which is very helpful. So that's basically how to set up Google Analytics. Once it's set up, and of course, you can always test it as well. Mm-hmm. How I like testing it as a developer is you find this tracking ID. So this is the tracking ID that I want to use. I'm gonna copy this so it's on my clipboard. And once I'm on the site that I'm viewing, you can right click and hit view page source, which will bring up a bunch of what might look like Greek to everybody watching this. But you can do what's called a control find, which is a control F, and you can paste that code right into here, and you can see, okay, it's on my site. I know it's there.
Oh, okay. So
it'll highlight it
in the browser settings. Go use the
exactly.
Find. Okay, just to make
sure you can see it right, and it's right there. There. So okay, I'm good to go. It's working. Oh.
Cool.
So that's how I like testing to see if that code is actually on the site.
I understand. Good to know. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2 is the different sections of Google Analytics. So once you're in, you have the analytics code on your site. It's running. It's working. You can see here on this left-hand side, there's a bunch of different reports that are available to you. There's real time, which is, of course, this is the actual live traffic on your site. I'm assuming that most of everybody that's here right now are all small businesses, in which case this is probably not going to be the most useful tool for you, just because there might only be 2 or 3 people on your site at a time. And there's no sense in really viewing this because only viewing a small sample size of 2 or 3 people is not really worth it. So you're going to want to view the behavior tab, which we'll get into in a minute.
Okay.
But the real time, this basically just shows you, okay, who's on my site right now. So I'm using this site as my example today.
Okay.
It's a photography site. So there's no one viewing it right now.
So for those of you who have online businesses mm-hmm. and they're doing selling and they're doing sales and things along those lines, then especially maybe in particular, like when like Black Friday is coming up, right? And you want to kind of see like, okay, I'll put an ad out there. Let me see, like, is anybody hitting on my door? Then that would be the time I could come into here.
The review, absolutely. The real time, I would say, is most useful for if you do a flash sale on something.
Right.
So if you put up an ad saying this deal is only good for the next hour, go online and get it right now. You can this is a great way to view, okay, this is who's on my site right now. Other than that, most of the small businesses that are listing right now are probably not going to be using this.
Okay.
Another tool that this could be used for as well is, Dr. Yam, for the example here, you're streaming live right now.
Right.
Okay, how many people are viewing my live stream via my website versus Facebook Live or YouTube Live or wherever you're streaming?
Okay.
So if you're streaming in multiple different locations and your website's included in that, okay, let's see how many people are viewing it here.
Got you.
The audience tab, I usually tell people to not rely on this data too often. And I'll explain why. So this shows your demographics, like who is viewing your site, male, female, age demographics, all this, location, geography. I highly suggest not using the demographics to a degree. To at least take the information that you're going to be viewing with a grain of salt. And the reason for that being is, I'll take my computer, for example. My wife sometimes needs to do something on my computer. I'm logged into Google under my account. So it's a 30-year-old male from central Pennsylvania.
Right.
My wife, she jumps on the computer and she's looking up shoes that she wants to buy. So now that data is going to be misled because she's using my computer.
Right.
So now if you were a company who sells shoes to women, you're going to be like, why is this 30-year-old man creep looking at high heels stilettos on my site? So it's like, that it's not true. It's just because it's my wife using my computer. So you have to really take this information with a grain of salt. You can use it, but it's not 100% accurate.
All right.
So depending on your sample size, it really depends on, what you're trying to do there.
Okay.
Geography, on the other hand, absolutely incredible tool to use, because this is based on IP addresses and where they're hitting the site from. So you can see, and you can break this down even further. So if I wanted to go to city versus country, you could. Mm-hmm. All right. So most of the people, again, I'm in central Pennsylvania. So most of the people are hitting out of here.
Gotcha.
Out of central Pennsylvania. You can zoom this into, which it's not letting me scroll down. That's useful, Google.
Sometimes I think when you're sharing, it
always
has a life of its own.
Mm-hmm. The behavior tab is absolutely another fantastic tool.
Okay, talk to us about behaviors. What are we talking?
So, engagement's my favorite thing to look at here. And the reason why is it tells me, okay, how much do people actually engage with my website? So what I mean by that is, okay, so you can see here there's sessions. So there's 16 people. And of course, something that I should mention, this is all based on the date range that you see up top of the right here. So which is set for about a week. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is a small website with very little traffic. So if I actually want to view some data that I can make a decision on, I probably have to bump this out to maybe 2 months, let's say. So let's just do that for right now. We'll bump it up to 2.5 months. All right, now here's some usable data.
Wow.
So you can see, okay, there's been 304 sessions. These are the page views. So each person's viewing about almost 2 pages a piece. So most of the people are probably landing on the home page, then clicking on one thing and then leaving. That's my guess here. Right. And you can see that from here. So this goes to show you how important certain pages are of your site, especially your home page, which is what most of the people are going to be landing on.
Okay.
This also tells you new versus returning, which is, again, this is a very great tool, especially if you're going to be considering retargeting ads. If you have a lot of people that are returning to your site, highly suggest that you maybe start placing some retargeting ads out there as well. And the reason for that being is they're coming back to your site, but maybe they're not converting, or maybe they are converting. If they're continually coming back to your site, well, the analytics are showing that a lot of people are returning. Let's push that envelope even further, and let's start retargeting ads, which that's a whole nother spiel that you can do with Facebook and even Google ads. So,
okay. So let's pause on that note for a minute, because I think it's important for everyone to understand the whole purpose of wanting to make sure that what type of traffic you're actually getting on your website is that you can then take this data and use it to generate audiences and kind of design, kind of like when we always talk about your ideal target, your ideal avatar for your client. You're going to be able to create that avatar, that audience list for your Facebook ads or your Twitter ads or whatever ads. This analytics coming off of your website, you want to be able to match people who are like the people that are there, or maybe even, I don't know, Josh, if they can even target those specific people because of their IP addresses, whatever they're pulling off when they're visiting the site itself. So this is why it's important that you're putting this feature and functionality on your websites or your landing pages, because it then can be repurposed and taking that data and utilizing it so that you are using smart data to create ads, and you're not just doing things on a random whim and creating things because you think you know about your audience.
And even going back to your point there, so even going back to the point though about the random whim, that's okay that you do that, especially as a small business. We should always be adapting, always be trying something new. But this is where analytics come into play. Okay, I tried something new. Is that campaign working? And you can use the numbers that you find in Google Analytics to say, yes, it is. Okay, let's push that even harder. Or no, it's not. All right, let's even just abandon our current marketing budget on that, and let's just use that money elsewhere.
Great.
So, and that gets into A/B testing, which I'll get into kind of toward the end here too. I'm going to kind of, I guess at this point though, the rest of these I'm going to kind of rip through because it's important, but it's not, I don't think, as useful as the geographic and behavior and even interests, which actually I should touch on as well.
Okay.
Interest, this goes back into the demographics though. So you have to be careful with here. For example, my wife using my computer to see this, or to view. But the way Google Analytics works is that most people have Google accounts. Most people are logged into Google. And when you sign up for your initial Google account, you of course put in all of your information. That's how Google sees these demographics, because of how many people have Google accounts and have given Google their information already.
Okay.
So that's how they're producing these demographics and even interests. So everything that I do on the web, for the most part, especially my Google searches, are tracked because I'm logged into Google. So they can say, all right, I'm searching photography a lot. Okay, this person's interested in photography, and they put me into that marketing, or they put me into that group. I search engine optimization a lot just to see what the new trends are. Okay, this person is a digital marketer. They can make that assumption based on your trends of search traffic. So that's why they put these people into these interest groups, which is really interesting because you can see from here, again, I don't have enough data on this site, but you can see here that, okay, this person is interested in photography. Well, they're probably also interested in printing services, because they're going to want to print their photos at some point in time. So Google can even say, you can even see this, okay, these people that are viewing this site are interested in photography. Maybe they're also interested in photos. So even if you're selling shoes, for example, maybe you sell them, maybe you see a ton of people that are really interested in photography that are hitting your site, even though your site's about shoes. Hey, maybe I should sell, maybe I should sell a print of a shoe. I don't know. But you can make those adjustments based on the interests that your viewers of your site are seeing. Help push new products, new services, things like that.
Okay.
Again, you can. I'm sorry.
Did we get to number 3?
Custom dashboards, not yet. I'm gonna. Okay. So there's a lot of information, obviously. So you can keep going through here, and you can keep clicking through. If you do need, I guess for the sake of time and for the people that are viewing, I'll stop, I guess, while we're ahead. If you need to see more of this, feel free to either reach out to me or honestly just Google, hey, what does traffic sources for real time mean? Or go on to Google and actually see they have videos and things like that you can watch.
It seems very, very powerful. I guess a lot of people are really missing out by not taking, even if you don't look at the data, just capturing it so that somebody else can look at it for you and do the analytics. I know everybody might not say, well, I'm not really good at numbers or I'm not good at analysis, but having the mechanism connected and start collecting the data, that's the most important thing, is archiving that historical data so that it can be used down the line So that's the point. If you don't do anything else, just set it up, like set
Yep.
it and forget it. And then you at least have something that you can come back and look at, because you don't want to not be doing it. Particularly those of us who are just, just starting. I got some new people who are just jumping off inside of their new uh, businesses. And so this will be one of the critical things that I will want to make sure that they do once they establish their websites and their web presence, because it's just a critical piece of information that's going to be very useful for marketing. And that's where the money gets wasted a lot of the time.
And it's a lot. And like you mentioned, it's a lot of information, which will bring up my third point then.
Yeah.
Because you could waste hours looking through this. And all of us know time is money. We're all small business owners, which is why dashboards is so important. So dashboards are actually takes all of this data and only puts together a dashboard that you want to see. Okay. So it only puts together the information that you want to see in front of you. So I have, and we're going to be sharing this link for this custom dashboard later on, is this dashboard I've set up personally for all of the SEO clients that we work with, which shows basically kind of the more basic information, but the information that our clients care most about, which is traffic, total traffic from SEO efforts, which this site is pitiful. So don't, I'm not SEOing this site, disclaimer. But you can see here though, okay, so there's been 304 visitors to the site from, this time period. This is what came from, people actually searching on Google, maybe photographer in Harrisburg, which is the city that this site is in. That's where this is. That's how they found you, is actually through Google search results, bounce rates, average sessions, and then referral analysis, which is really important as well. Where is most of my traffic coming from? Okay. Most viewed pages. Okay, this is where most of the people are landing on when they do a search on Google. And this is the search term that they're using. So this dashboard we set up custom, and it's as easy as clicking a one-click install, which we will share a link with you. So once you have a Google account set up, or Google Analytics account set up, you can click this link that we're going to be sharing, and it'll ask you what website do you want to add this dashboard to, and it'll automatically drop this dashboard in, and everything here will be configured automatically based on your data that's already existing.
Okay, cool.
So kind of a really easy dashboard that you can use then for you.
All right. So as Josh mentioned, for those of you in the Small Biz Society inside of our Facebook group, I've already dropped, it should have already loaded. I timed it to about this time. Perfect. So you'll see that inside of the Facebook group. And for those of you who are watching from off of my page and are watching this video as an archive, so I'm going to run this as a ticker. So the SEO dashboard gift that Josh is talking about, again, it can be found inside of the group and is at tinyurl.com/Josh SEO. So I made a little short URL so that you can easily remember and type it in. So you can visit that particular website. And again, we'll post it inside of the notes as a part of this post as well. Thanks, Josh. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Tool. We appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
I'm going to be using it for sure.
Yeah, we've been tweaking it, over time, and this is what we ended up with. And what's nice too is that from this dashboard, you can actually set this to automatically email you, once a quarter, once a year, once a month. And so it'll automatically email you all this data. So you don't even have to log into your Google account anymore. You can just set it and it'll email you this data once a month, which is really great.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's what's great about these dashboards. And again, it's right there, email under that dashboard.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
So one of these things that you see on here is goal completions, which is, again, not set up for this site yet, but this is definitely a very important thing to have, especially if you're tracking ad campaigns. So what a goal completion is a specific set of a specific set of circumstances that you say, this is considered my goal, which can be anything from people making a phone call directly from your site,
Okay.
or completing your contact form, or even purchasing a product.
Oh,
And all those are set up via your dashboard here. So you go to admin, and it's going to be under the right hand side here, and that's goals. And you can create new goals over time. So if you want to set it up so that way people are finding your location, there's a bunch of different ones here. One of the most common ones, though, is I feel is custom, which is, let's say it's just your contact form,
right.
or your free estimate if you're a pressure washer or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You can only put up to, I think it's 20 slots, which is plenty if you ask me.
Okay.
And then destination, which is going to be your thank you page. So after someone fills out your contact form, you make sure that contact form redirects them to a thank you page. Thank you for contacting us. We'll be in contact with you shortly, or whatever. Okay. So you set up your destination. Yeah, go ahead.
So just so I'm clear, so for instance, if my goal is that I want to be able to, and I suspect it's either coming from a landing page or an offer, or an ad, and I'm just trying to get more people to book a consultation with me. Yep. Then the fact that that's my goal is I want to get 55 new appointments set over a period of time. Then based on whatever coming off of the behaviors off of the website, I'm being able to see whether or not any of this is working.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
Very easily. And what's great here too. So once you set that, so let's say if it was this and it was thank you. So once anybody hits this page, it'll mark it as a goal. Now, I can set a monetary value to that. So I can say, okay, I know that this is worth $10 to me each time someone fills out my contact form.
Okay.
You can set that. So what this can be used for, not so much, well, let me take that back. What this can be used for is your actual marketing campaigns in the long run. So you can say, especially with Google Ads, because you can even tell Google Ads once you set this up that, yes, this is worth $10 to me when someone fills this out. Mm-hmm. When you're setting up a Google Ads account, you can actually tell Google Ads, hey, I want to run an ad on this website, and here's my goals. And the ads will adjust over time based on this value. So if it knows that, for example, because it's pay-per-click, so if it knows that each click costs $5 to send somebody to your site for wedding photographer, for example, because that's the bidding for that keyword, but you're only converting on 1 out of every 10 people that go there, so it's really costing you $50 to get that traffic to your site, and it's only worth $10 to you. Google's going to say, okay, this is not a worth it ad to run. Right. Versus maybe family portraits, which is a cheaper pay-per-click cost. Maybe it's only $1, but you're converting on 1 out of every 2 that land on your site. Gotcha. Okay, this is definitely worth it. So what Google will do is they'll adjust your monies around and put them into the more active or the more converting pay-per-click campaigns, which is really great.
Awesome. So this is one of the things that I really try to emphasize with my clients, as well as inside of the Facebook groups, even for the goal setting in general, and how that goal and how that's all going to align with your quarterly goals, as well as your monthly goals, as well as your big and we have the 3 big rocks. And so how is it that this is going to be in alignment with it, and how the efforts that you're making from a marketing perspective, versus whether it's digital marketing or content marketing, how is all of this kind of coming together and helping you to reach the goal and making the necessary decisions? So this is just like totally awesome. I'm really, really loving it. I mean, I was toying around with it because I honestly, and I tell my folks all the time, I don't do certain things because I know that either one is a time suck for me, and I just as soon give it to somebody else to do and give me the information. So, which is what I've been doing. So I've had my web guy that maintains my site, and I'm like, okay, give me a Google report, because I just had to give attention to other things, right? And same thing with SEO. I don't do SEO. I do content, but I have somebody else who does my SEO coding and making sure it all looks good on my blog pages and things along those lines. And so, however, for some of us who are not there just yet, where they can't do the handoff, that's why the Small Biz Society is for the DIYers that are doing this work themselves and now can have a little bit of understanding. It's not a huge undertaking. It's not hard. It's just something you just got to learn and then put into practice. But in most of the cases, as Josh has just mentioned, it's really just a matter of, setting it up and then doing it on a routine basis. It's not something you have to do like every day. So that's the great thing. So really appreciate the fact that we now have a better understanding of what all that could really look like. So we appreciate that, Josh.
Absolutely.
All righty. So what? So are we? So was that anything else on this matter as far as goals?
No, I think that covers it, and that actually covers. We actually talked about that fifth point, which is tracking successful campaigns, either through SEO or even ads. Like you mentioned too, making sure that you have your analytics account set up the minute you have your website set up is so important, because even if you don't plan on using the data now, you want that historical data to use in the long run, especially if your business gets to a point where, okay, I want to hire somebody now to do my digital marketing, and they just set up your Google Analytics account. Just then, how are you going to know what they're doing is successful? How are you going to know, is this person really worth hiring or keeping, based on the data that was on your site? So making sure that you have that information from day one is very important.
Okay. So some key takeaways. One, put it on your website, set it up.
Yep.
It's free, and it's free.
It's free, 100%.
So I always like to give out the free stuff.
Yep.
So one, it's free. Two, it's easy to set up. Just go to Google Analytics and you can go through a simple setting up of your account. There's a Google Academy that's going to take you through all the nuts and bolts, maybe a bit deeper than what Josh has given you, but Josh has given you a lot of information, even to process, which I totally appreciate. So my mind is like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do.
It is information overload, I'll be honest.
Oh no, but it's good information.
In a good way, yes.
Good way, right? And how can this help you? One, collect data. Data is your best friend, and data don't lie. So your friend's gonna lie to you. The person trying to sell to you is gonna lie to you, but the data ain't gonna lie to you. So collect your own data, and that way you will never go wrong. And then you have an opportunity now to have another component that's going to help you with goal setting, which is critical so that you are aiming in the right direction. And how is it that you're putting all these nuts and bolts together? So whether it's your content marketing with your blogging, with your product development, with your ads, versus any of the different platforms themselves, your social media, all of those things are all going to play a huge, huge part in making sure that you can be as productive as what is our theme for this week, as well as being profitable, which is everyone's goal when they're going into business for themselves, be it a side gig or a full-on business. So the 5 benefits for using Google Analytics for your business. I want to again thank Mr. Josh for helping us. And again, I'm going to put the freebies up there. Again, it's inside the Facebook group for those of you already inside the Small Biz Society. And you can also simply use the ticker, which is again tinyurl.com/Josh SEO will take you there. And it's just going to open up right for you, right, Josh?
Yeah. So here, I'll go ahead and click on that link because I have it in my multiple SEO tools. So this is what will pop up once it loads. And it'll ask you, okay, what dashboard do you want to, or what do you want to add this to? So I'm going to add it to this website. So I click that, and then this is the title of it, and I click create, and it'll automatically drop it in there.
Okay.
It's that easy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We're loving it. All right. Well, Josh, again, let me just say thank you so much for your time and your talents and for helping other aspiring and newbie entrepreneurs make it happen in a productive and profitable way. So, any last remarks or anything else you'd like to share with us before you go?
Yeah, I'm going to share one more thing with you, and
Go
I
ahead.
just kind of thought of this on the spot because I know there's a lot of small business owners out there listening. For those of you who do not have a website yet, I will. For those of you listening, please mention that you were listening.
Yeah.
If you reach out to me, and I will put together a completely custom 5-page built website for free for you.
What?
Set up analytics for free for you, and
What?
set up two goals in your analytics for you for free.
Oh man!
All that you need to do is pay for hosting, which is not very expensive on
You got to do it anyway, so you might as well.
Exactly. So I will do all that for you, absolutely free of charge. Just reach out to me. All that you have to do is pay for hosting, and we'll get that set up for you.
Have to say you heard it on a Keep It Simple Coach.
Exactly.
Say Keep It Simple Coach. You're in like Flynn. We'll put it inside of the Facebook groups. Thank you so much, Josh. We really want to help you. I'm going to put up your, let me just put up your contact information as well. Let me do that real quick. Again, so you can find Josh on Facebook. You can find him on Twitter, find him on Instagram. And of course, you can email him at support@coursevector.com.
Which is the best way to get a hold of me is via that email.
Email them. So email them, and then you'll be good to go. So again, thank you, Josh. I really appreciate your time and your talents, and let's get busy. Thanks, Josh.
Care.
All right, everyone. So again, thank you guys for coming on and watching. And for those of you who had an opportunity to engage, we want to thank you as well, and have an opportunity. Don't forget to download the freebie that Josh is offering. And again, if you don't have your website already and you're starting and you're aspiring and you're coming out of my Jumpstart class, because my jumpers are going to get this information and they're going to jump on it like it's hot. So that's going to be even better. So for those of you, again, if you haven't already done so, join us over at the smallbizsociety.info, where you're going to be able to join other DIY entrepreneurs who are making it happen, being more productive and more profitable, using content marketing strategies and other biz tips to make it happen. And for those of you who are aspiring and you just have an idea and you want to make it more than an idea, join us over at jumpstartmydreambiz.com, and I'll be right over there to make that happen and motivate you to get to your launch day. Until then, I want to say thanks, everybody, and have a good one. Let's get busy. Bye-bye.